What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Promised End podcast. This is Czar from Chunderi Beats.
And this is John from Oh My, It's John. So today, before anything else, we want to greet each other. Hi, Czar.
Yeah, it's been quite some time since we saw each other physically.
Yeah.
Even until now,
right now
we're just recording this remotely.
Yes, exactly. So we're in. Hello, mate. How are you?
So, how's your week?
And it's okay. I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. But that's for another episode.
Oh yeah, we you gave us a scare there, like
Yeah,
you know.
it was really high, and right now I'm a 28-year-old guy taking maintenance.
Damn, son.
What the fuck?
Should lay off the sugar or something.
No, it's not the sugar. It's just the oil.
Oh,
You
the
know,
oils.
oil, fat, and shit.
Oh,
The classic.
you can't do anything about it because like all of the best food that you can eat, all of them are like oily. The more delicious something is, the more oily it is.
Yes, and the best things in life can kill you. That's the thing. Well, how about you? How's your week?
I'm very busy, very exhausted. I'm so happy that the weekend. We're actually recording this on a weekend. We have
Yes.
real world
And the
jobs.
weekend, and the weekend finally it's an actual weekend. Fuck, and things that we're not working on weekends
I
anymore.
know, right? I know, right? Oh
We're in the
man,
loop.
I haven't even seen the new Guardians movie. I'll be
Mhm.
watching that later. Hopefully it will still be showing because it was still showing yesterday. So
Yeah,
I'll be
I
catching that
already
later.
watched it, so it's awesome.
Was it
It's
good?
really awesome. But yeah, by the way, speaking of Guardians, I was like talking with a lot of people online, and they said that if they want to be in a movie or in a world in a movie, they definitely want to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie because, dude, that's the best movie that ever made, and the galaxy, the world building they did there was so awesome. So they definitely want to be in that world.
Well, I'm
Speaking of which,
actually
yeah.
I have big expectations from this because I really enjoyed the first one. So
Mm-hmm.
I was relieved that a lot of people are saying that the sequel is awesome. So
Yeah, the sequel is way awesome.
yeah, that's very very good news to me.
Reassuring. Yeah, very reassuring. Well, anyway, speaking of being in another world, today we are going to talk about being in another world. Specifically, those, what do you call this? Japanese animations that has the protagonist living in another world. Their genres are named Isekai stories. Isekai. Isekai. So, Zara,
Isekai.
what is an Isekai story?
Well, an isekai story is basically it starts out with the protagonist, mostly a normal normal boy or normal girl living a normal life in a normal world, a world pretty much like ours, based off of reality and shit. And for some reason,
They die?
no, not all the time, but
Not all the time.
not all the time, but for some reason they get transported to another world, and in that world they are tasked. Most of the time, they are tasked with a mission or a quest to save it. So that's usually how an isekai story goes. But over the years, there's been a lot of changes, or a lot of new ideas being introduced into the genre, and especially in the past 2 or 3 years, we've been getting a steady stream of isekai stories.
Isekais, yes, a lot of them were, or rather, they came after the popularization of one isekai story,
Oh no!
the one I really don't like. Can you open this?
Oh no! Oh no! Don't tell me what it is.
Yeah, but it's the truth, man.
It-
Fuck. So it actually got popularized by Sword Art Online
oh my
in the
god!
past 4 years. Sword Art Online was a story about being trapped in a game world. So basically, that's still considered as an isekai story. But to people who actually want to experience the being trapped in a game world, I'd rather suggest what's called it? Log Horizon rather than Sword Art Online.
But
I'm not hating on Sword Art Online. I just don't like it. But I don't hate it per se. Okay, so fans, Sword Art Online fans, don't worry. We still love you.
well, let me just come right out and say that at the beginning I really liked Sword Art Online because just like John here, I'm a big MMORPG player back in the day.
Hmm.
Well, John is technically he still plays a lot of MMOs, but I kind of stopped
Hmm.
playing
So you're
MMOs.
not a big MMORPG. Don't kid yourself.
No,
Don't
I'm a
kid
big MMORPG player back in the day, is what I said. And
No,
and when
no, I don't accept it. When no, don't worry. You can claim your title once Ragnarok Online's here again.
when Sword Art Online came out, it was really a wish
It was
fulfillment
really
kind
one
of
of a
deal.
kind. Yeah,
Like
it was a
it's
really one of a kind.
it's everything that an MMORPG gamer would wish for. Like
Mhm.
even that part where you're trapped inside the game. It's just
Mhm.
that the problem is if you die inside the game, you die in real life. That's the consequences. That's not a spoiler. And by the way, because this happens in the first episode, this gets revealed.
Mhm.
It's,
And
it's the whole
and
premise of the
what's
game or the anime.
that actually annoyed me because in Isekai stories, there's a what do you call this? There's a resolution. Of course, a lot of them also has when you die, you die in real life. But that's because they are physically transported in another world. That's the thing with isekai stories. Now, for Sword Art Online, they're not physically transferred to another world. They're still inside the fucking game. So, so I don't know if it doesn't make sense to me that they die in real. That kind of killed the mood since it's so based on reality that it sucks rather than the dilemma from Log Horizon,
Yeah.
another isekai story where they get trapped in another in a game world
Mm-hmm.
wherein once they die there, they respawn just like a game world should do.
Ah,
And the
yes, yes.
dilemma there is it will it be ethical for people to like PK other players, player kill other players just to just because they know that they're not dying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's way more interesting for me rather than oh they're gonna die if they die. Okay.
Well, you know how Sword Art Online is at first. It really catches you off guard because it has a lot of these great concepts and themes. It has a lot
Mhm.
of drama, and the animation is also
It's actually
exceptional.
quite good.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's and the very concept of full dive MMO. is so appealing to a lot of people because you just want to get away. Sometimes you just want to get
Yeah.
away from
It's
real life.
it's escapism at its finest.
Yes, yes, definitely. Especially how Kirito builds his harem of girls. It all
Yeah,
adds
that's
up.
not
Suddenly,
really.
yeah, suddenly that's actually what opened my eyes to it because suddenly I realized that hey, this is an MMO. Why is he solo playing? Especially
Mhm.
since the consequence would be to die a real death if he dies in the
Yeah.
game, and and it's sad that he's collecting all of these girls under his wing, like he's basically building a harem, and he doesn't even know it. He's the accidental playboy,
Yep.
and I hate that. I hate that character. I hate the accidental playboy.
I really don't like accidental Playboy characters because they don't know what they're doing.
But okay, this is becoming a Sword Art Online rant. Again, this is Sword Art Online. What it did was it gave a spin to the isekai story. It basically introduced this idea of an isekai story set in a video game setting, video game world, and that has become a trend. Now, okay, before you hardcore otakus crucify me, I know that Sword Art Online is not the first at this genre. Of course, we still have Dot Hack. We have even Log Horizon. I think the light novel
Yeah.
for Log Horizon came out before Sword Art Online, but let's just all acknowledge that Sword Art Online kind of brought this to the mainstream.
Yep.
So
And just because at the moment there are a lot of what do you call this new age gamers and they like Sword Art Online because it kind of I really want to be that guy. Like, yeah, sure. I'd rather be Kite. Anyway, for Isekai stories, that wasn't the first Isekai story that
yes.
actually made popular of the genre. There are way more stories like that. There, of course, we have. Is Tenchi Muyo even Isekai? No,
No, it's just a
not really.
harem. It's a sci-fi
It's
harem.
just sci-fi harem, yeah.
Uh,
El Hazard,
El
that,
Hazard
that-
definitely.
and for those girls who likes to look at boys
Oh
making each
no.
other blush, you have God Save Our King.
Oh, even
That's
Fush-
actually really funny. It's a really funny uh, series.
oh,
If
even
not for
Curious Play Fushigi Yugi is an isekai
yeah,
story as well.
yep. Furious Play is one of the best examples of a isekai story done right
Yep.
because basically isekai stories has this the protagonist or protagonists get transferred to another world, and unless they fix the problem of that world, the main dilemma of that world, they can't go back, or everything rests at what the protagonist should do or
Precisely.
how the protagonist should act. There's
Pre-
also Martian Awakens romance. Played it also played the isekai role very good,
mhm. Oh, and
and what else?
Vision of Escaflowne as well.
Vision
Is
of
a
Escaflowne,
That's also an
definitely. But
isekai.
I think Vision of Escaflowne did something that isekai genres didn't really what do you call this uh, dive into. That's why I liked it
Mhm.
because Hitomi was not the protagonist.
Oh, yes,
She's like
yes.
the ultra supporting character.
She's sort of a
Like,
catalyst to change, but she's not the
mhm,
agent of change.
mhm.
You have
They didn't change Vaughn and Alan.
Vaughn, Allen. You have a cast of very interesting characters. You have Vaughn,
Yes, exactly.
the prince who lost his kingdom. You have
Mhm.
Alan
You have
Shazar,
Alan,
the noble.
the knight who lost his kingdom.
You have
You have you have
Stra-
Vaughn's brother, the
Strategos,
the prince.
the
Yeah.
traitor who lost his kingdom.
So basically, it's a cast of people who lost their kingdom and people who are trying to fight for the new kingdom. And I don't know why it's wrong. And you lost your kingdom, bro. You're trying to claim it. Okay. So, but actually, there's no bad thing happening there. There's no tyrants. There's
Well,
nothing. They just want to fucking reclaim their kingdom.
there is the evil empire of Zybok. If you've
Well, yeah.
forgotten, you have Delandau, which is my favorite, most favorite character in the whole series because he's like the most dynamic. He's the psychotic antagonist
It's the
of the
classic
series.
psychotic antagonist.
Yeah, and I really like him because he's very whenever he's on the screen, a lot of things happen, and I like the concept of uh, Vision of Escaflowne because it talks about destiny, fate, and luck. Basically,
And and also this that guy who keeps on screaming Alan Shazar because he really he really hates him because Alan is basically before Von got Escaflowne, he's like shit. He just got the really awesome Mado, which is good for him, but in terms of skill, Alan just beats him in everything. Basically, Alan is a good Sephiroth. So yeah, do the math, guys.
yeah, he's a better swordsman. He's a
A better
gentleman.
pilot.
Yeah, a better Guy Melef pilot. And he's good looking. He's
He's good
knightly,
looking. Hmm.
but he's
So basically,
he banged all the girls in that anime except for Hitomi. Let me just tell you right.
yeah, that's the thing with. Of course, there's no perfect character. You need
Alan
to have
was
one flaw.
Alan was
Alan was a
banging
fucking
every.
pervert. Yeah, Alan was a fucking pervert in more ways than one.
Let's move on to another example.
Yeah.
What else? There's also this dramatic anime that I only saw once, and I did not repeat. I did not rewatch it. It's Now and Then, Here and There. It's also an isekai story. It's about this young boy who he has a very positive outlook on life, and he trains he practices kendo, sword art, and for some reason he gets transported to this world that is devoid of water, and the people there, or this military organization or whatever, they're desperate. They're trying to look for this girl who can produce water, and it deals with a lot of things like rape,
Yep.
um,
It's
you know,
politics.
politics, and abortion. Even there's even
Yep.
it even deals with the um, because there's this girl who got kidnapped because they thought that she was the water priestess or something, but unfortunately they found out that she was not, and she's also like an isekai character because she was from America, and she got transported to
Yeah.
that world just because she looked like the water princess or the water priestess, and what happened to her is she was locked up and she was used as a prostitute. Basically, the soldiers in that tower were like using
Raping her.
Yeah, and she got fed up. There's this
That's a really what do you call this? That's a really dark example. So I think we should move on.
no. What I want to say
Happy-go-lucky
is
podcast.
what I want to say is the protagonist in that story had this really positive outlook while everybody else was suffering. That's the dynamic of it. But yeah, an isekai story comes in different flavors. You have your really lighthearted ones, and then you have these really dark ones. Like Fushigi Yugi is even a dark. I could consider
Yeah,
it as a
it's
dark
actually
isekai story.
it's actually a very dark isekai story. It starts off with a light tone, like finding the what do you call this? The guardians, or what do they call them in the anime again?
I think they're they're like
Yeah,
guardians
guardians,
of
right? Yep.
the phoenix and the dragon, something like that.
And then everyone starts to die off one by one.
Yeah, it's because it's their
What the
destiny to
fuck?
clash. And
Yeah, it's their destiny to crash and die.
yeah, and then one of them should come out on top. It's either the
Yep.
Phoenix Priestess or the Blue Dragon Priestess. So,
Actually, there's no need. They just need to collect uh, the one from the dragon,
mm-hmm,
their number one guardian. Naruto just wants extreme power.
mm-hmm.
That's why he's manipulating things because he wants to go out. I think he's the one who knows that they're in a book.
Oh, so he's
Yeah, he was like
self-aware.
he's self-aware that he wants to go out,
Mm.
and it doesn't matter how. Even if he's gonna use the two priestesses' power
Mm-hmm.
to survive. Yeah,
Oh, let me also mention this, just in case. A Western example would be the
never-ending
Neverending
story.
Story. Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
Sebastian and what's that dragon dog's name?
the, yeah. I
Pagcor?
forgot, but
Was it
he's the cutest.
Pagcor or something?
What the hardcore? Isn't that like the gambling shit?
Oh my god, I
Uh,
forgot his name.
Never End, Never Ending Story was a really good movie. If you young guys haven't seen it, please do. It's a we won't spoil it because once we start talking about the plot, it's very straightforward.
Yes, but basically
Yeah,
it's
there's
it's
no re
it's about this
yeah.
boy who gets transported to this world and he needs to save that world because he's
Mhm.
got this unique power.
And he can't go home if he doesn't save that world.
Yeah, basically that's the basic model of an isekai story. You are
Yeah,
your protagonist from
that's
the
the
normal world
mhm,
transported to this fantasy setting, and he has a unique ability that is only his, and he needs to save that
mhm.
world in order for him to return to his own world.
Yep, exactly. And also, there's this the very first isekai that people have encountered, but they didn't know that it was actually an isekai story was Peter Pan.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Also,
Wendy, uh, John, and I don't know, Mike,
that's
Bob.
that is so out of. It's like it's so out of
Out
the
of
setting.
context. Wendy, John, and Mike. Hi, Mike. Well, anyway, those three kids got transported in a world called Neverland. And there they met Peter Pan, who's also a kid from the real world
Ah
that
yes.
got transported. And actually, all of them that's why they were called Lost Boys, right? Because they were lost and they suddenly end up in Neverland.
Yeah.
And they cross. Actually, what what made Peter Pan so fun for me because it's they don't have a goal. They don't have a goal there. They just want to clash the pirates and defeat them, but it doesn't actually mean anything. The pirates just are doing their thing, doing being pirates, and they are boys that just wants to mess up with pirates.
I mean, are there even villages that the pirates raid or something?
Yeah,
It's like they're
actually,
only in
yes.
their ship.
The village of there's the village of
Tiger
Tiger.
Lily?
What's it? Tiger Lily. Yeah.
Oh my god. It's just so
She's the
I,
best girl, bro.
yeah.
Tiger Lily is the best girl. For if we are gonna compare them to our ReZero, another proper, Tiger Lily is Rem. She's just a Rem, and
Yeah.
Wendy's just a random girl.
She Tiger Lily is a fighting girl, definitely.
Yes, she's definitely one of the best girls. But there's this, speaking of ReZero, there's this another anime called Zero or something Zero, that princess who
Oh,
summoned this guy.
oh, Zero no
Yeah, that's
Tsukaima,
really
the familiar of Zero.
yeah, the familiar of Zero. That was really popular back then as well.
Yeah, it's a Riekugimiya anime after all,
Yes, of course.
so it's
Every
definitely popular.
every there was this time like 2008 until 2011 that was Ria Kugimiya owning just everything.
She was like everywhere, you know.
Yeah, she's like everywhere. She's like the Aya. What is it?
Aya Hirano of that era.
Aya Hirano of that era because Aya Hirano was popular from way back.
Yeah, but Ria Kugimiya still works. To this day, she still
Mhm.
takes roles.
Yeah, because she didn't fuck her bandmate.
Let's talk about that another time. But just a side note, for our listeners, Ria Kugimiya is a voice actress, a Japanese voice actress, and she voiced a lot of characters that a lot of people love, like Taiga, Isaka Taiga from Toradora, Nagi Sanzinin from Hayate, the combat butler, and
Shana.
Shana from Shakugan no Shana,
Shakugan no
and Luis
which is
from
another from
familiar of Zero, and
familiar.
also, just in case not many people don't know this, but Al from Full Metal Alchemist is also
Yeah,
voiced by
the
Ria
Japanese.
Kogimiya.
And speaking of Shakugan no Shana, I think that's a twisted what do you call this? A twisted isekai story for me because the gods have their own world where Shana and blah blah lives, and they just spill over to Earth. It's like a reverse isekai story
It's like
where they go to our world.
yeah, another the fantasy world trying to merge with the real
The real
world
world.
and getting these real people caught up in it. Yeah,
Hmm.
sort. I
So
can sort of see it as a reverse, sort of a reverse isekai story.
there, there's a lot of isekai stories out there, guys. It just doesn't, or rather, it wasn't just as popular or like it is today. But
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of isekai stories before. Again, we've cited a lot of examples, and I think further on we can talk more about them.
Yeah, yeah.
We are gonna choose several interesting isekais that are either coming out in an anime format.
Mm-hmm.
We've read the manga of a lot of them, and we would want to share it with you guys since these stories reflect one what do you call this? One desire of the you of young humans, young people, which is to which is to fulfill their escapism
Yeah,
and just go to another world where they are considered as someone important.
yeah. It
Although
is. It is really as
that's
an
actually bad.
escapist. Yeah, yeah, a lot of
Yeah, it's
people
an
see this
escapist
as an
thing.
escapist genre, wherein
Mhm.
an escapist slash power fantasy genre, wherein your knowledge of the real world being trivial in the real world, but in the other world, suddenly your knowledge is important. You have abilities
Mhm.
that are beyond the people's capabilities from that world, so you are considered special. But
Yes. And
there's also a lot of good anime and stories or manga light novels that deconstruct it. Um, I have to say, ReZero, one of the recent isekai stories,
mm,
is a very good deconstruction of this because, to be honest,
mhm,
a lot of the themes got turned around
mhm.
in that story.
As well as the one I showed you earlier, which is the Rise of the Shield Hero.
Oh yes, yes, that's another
That's a
one.
very good deconstruction of the genre because this is just to before we end just a quick uh, chat about this. Tateyusha Monogatari, or the rise of the story of the rise of the Shield Hero, actually transported not only one but four heroes in the New World.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them was treated and considered as a an evil entity, even though he's not. And the story goes from there. It's really interesting, and I think Zar, let's cover it in the next episode, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
well,
really interesting because
let's
it's a
talk
good
about it.
deconstruction of the isekai story. I'm not gonna allow you to talk about our ReZero because it's gonna be really long, and I think we need to have J Love with us for
Oh
that.
yeah, we have this other friend
Yeah,
who's really into ReZero. He
yeah,
plans on
he's an
creating.
American.
Yeah, he plans on creating his own video about it eventually.
Mhm.
But yeah, we'd like to have him on the show and talk
Mhm.
about ReZero, what it's about. So I guess
So I
we
think
could
we're
end
gonna,
this episode.
yeah, we could end it.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So guys, now that you know what isekai is or what the genre is about, can you state some examples of isekai stories that you like? It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if it's a game or if it's a anime, if it's a manga, or if it's a movie or a western movie or whatever. As long as it's an that Tom Cruise movie,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
rewinding
yeah,
time, that end of the what's the Edge of Tomorrow.
yeah,
That is so isekai-ish.
yeah.
Like seriously,
There is an element to it wherein he's the only one who remembers the
yeah. Basically,
uh
that's another world, right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah,
keep what do you call this? Repeating the world,
yeah.
and basically that's another world itself.
It's like every time the time resets, every time he experienced this reset, another universe is birthed. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
because it's technically the end for him, the end for his world,
Mm-hmm.
when he dies. So every time he
And
resets, you know, he
yep.
experiences a whole new world, but he's the only one who remembers.
Mm-hmm. And Groundhog Day, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah, Groundhog Day as well. But again, these are just offshoots of it. They're not really
Mm-hmm.
full blown
The
isekai
main,
stories.
yes, these are like a spin-off of an isekai genre.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you know any series that might interest us, or I think we're going to be interested in isekai stories. So if you know anything, please do comment it below, or just message us on Facebook if you want to chat, if you want to talk, or you can go over at our Discord server. I think we need to link out our Discord server as well, Zar.
Oh yeah. Let's put a link on the
So,
description for them to
mhm.
access.
And speaking of links in the descriptions, everything, our links to our socials are down below. And of course, do subscribe to the Promised podcast and click that bell button as well so you get notified if we have new episodes.
And
Okay,
of
so
course, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on our
yeah,
socials. Follow us on Twitter. You know, it's and
even though we don't use Twitter.
we produce content every week, twice a week. You know, we
Mhm.
this week we'll be producing 2 episodes. Or
No, I
yeah,
think we're gonna let's add a little more just for
yeah.
the fans, just for the people.
Let's see if we can do a bit more extra for our listeners for
Mhm.
this week. Also, Deep End. We
Of
have
course.
big plans for the Deep End podcast. A lot of
Hmm.
you
And
listeners are enjoying that content, so we want to provide you with more.
yep, exactly. And so, guys, if you again, if you like this, please subscribe. It does help us a lot, and click that like button as well. And as always, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
bye.
That was weird.